Earlier on Fox Sports Radio, and this is what we do for you every day at this time, play for you a portion of Fox Sports Radio, Fox Sports TV, something we found, something we heard, something we wanted to argue or discuss. Ben Maller has his own show. It's a good one. It's been on for a long time here on Fox Sports Radio. And then he said this.
You would think that Ginobili is one of the 10 greatest players in the history of basketball. He's not. All right, let's have some perspective on this. Unlike the reactionary types, I will not fall into that trap. All right, I will be the grown-up in the room. Manu Ginobili, let's call him what he is, a supporting actor. Right? He has been the benefactor of location. And there's this saying that guilt by association, right? Your parents will tell you don't hang out with shady characters because just by hanging out with them, you can get in trouble. Guilt by association, right? There's also this thing called praise by association, and Manu Ginobili is the benefactor of that, praise by association. And no matter how much you pout and shout and huff and puff, Ginobili's body of work in the NBA is not that of a Hall of Fame player. There's a lot of people that are being a prisoner of the moment.
He's a Hall of Fame player. He's going to be a Hall of Fame player. Now, it is also important to mention that part of the argument to make Manu Ginobili a Hall of Fame player is his international success. And when I say international success, I'm not just talking about the Olympics where he won a gold medal. And, oh, yeah, by the way, when they won the silver at the World Championships in Indianapolis, they were the first international team to take down a Team USA full of NBA players. That happened. Then they lost in overtime to Yugoslavia. He was also successful as a European player, winning 2 EuroLeague championships and a EuroLeague MVP and an Italian League MVP. And so, no, he never averaged more than 20 points a game. Matter of fact, the most he averaged was 19.5 points a game. That was also the year that he split starting. He's been a starter, he's been a bench player, and everywhere he's been, he's won. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. He's a better overall player than Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk's a go-to scorer, and a great one. Been a great one for a long time. But Dirk didn't play a lick of defense. Dirk's not really a passer. Heck, Dirk's not really even a rebounder. Manu brought the Euro step to the NBA, a little bit of flopping to the NBA, also incredible defensive and offensive versatility to the NBA. And everywhere he's been, he's won. And what happens is there are stat guys that go well, he never averaged 20 a game. Okay, the year he averaged 19.5 a game, he played 31 minutes. He never averaged 31 minutes ever in his career after that. Ever. So it's simple proration. Anyone with a brain that knows anything about sports goes well, look, if a dude averages, 16 a game playing 29 minutes a game, he would probably average 20 if he played 36 or 38 minutes a game. Wouldn't he? Of course he would. Of course he would. But the reason you play basketball, the reason that you play cards, the reason that you play billiards, the reason that you play football, the reason you play baseball. Last time I checked, the reason you play a sport is, 1, you love the sport, 2, you want to win. He won 4 NBA titles. He won 2 European championships. He won a gold medal. And he did so with Argentina. And if the goal is to win, and he's a winning player, and it's not like he's a 5-minute a game. Even Steve Kerr, who I love and probably, but Steve Kerr would tell you he gets more credit than he deserves for his time with the Spurs, which he was a backup or even third-string point guard. Manu did all of those things, and everywhere he went, he won. What does the fuck say? Yes, Ryan Music.
So what you're saying is with Ginobili, the reason he's without a doubt getting in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame is because it's things, outside of what he just did within the NBA. Because within the NBA, just his NBA career alone wouldn't merit Hall of Fame, correct? Because he was only sort of like a bench player, although he played some key roles. He was never really the guy who did enough in the NBA alone.
I don't know, how different is he than Scottie Pippen? Right? We consider Scottie Pippen one of the top 50 players of all time, and Jordan did the scoring. And people would fall back on, Scottie Pippen, they did go to the Eastern Conference Finals and had the number 1 seed in the East the one year he didn't play. Sure. I mean, he's basically Scottie Pippen. Tim Duncan is probably underrated all time with his success. I don't know how well Tim Duncan would translate now, whereas I do think Manu Ginobili could play now in his prime. He'd be great. He'd be even better now than he was when he was great, when he's healthy, when he's younger. But I think he's a lot better than people are giving him credit. He was not. He's not even. He had a greater influence in the game than Robert Horry did. He was not a. He was a sixth man who finished games. He was a starter. He was a finisher, and he was a damn good one at that. So was he the best player on the team? No. The problem was he was playing next to one of the greatest players in the last 25 years in the sport, in Tim Duncan. And he was the second best player on most of the team. Sometimes Tony Parker, who's another Hall of Famer. They were awesome. They were awesome. But yeah, I'd rather have him than Dirk. There's no disrespect to Dirk, but you will notice that Dirk's teams got knocked out in the first round a whole bunch of times with a whole bunch of other players because Dirk doesn't do the other things. If it's just about scoring, take Dirk. No one's going to argue about that.